Do the little things with great love. Today, in this reflection, I would like to bring to your notice two characters from the parable. First, a householder being so generous, representing the God the Father who calls us for work in His vineyard. And the second, the laborers who come for the work in different hours, represents us all. I believe that God knows what we need and what is best for us. Whatever we do in our life has own value when it is happening according to the will of God. If we move with our own wills and heart's desires, then we may end up something like this. As we read in the book of Judges chapter 9 verse 14, where Abimelech, who chooses himself as king against God's will, at the end he had nothing to offer for his people except harm like bramble. Do not be surprised or jealous when you see God's will showering more blessing on others than yourself. There are times, because of our human weakness, we see the opposite. Let us not be like those who came first for work. They thought they would receive more than the latecomers, but all received the same denaries. And while receiving, they grumble at the householder. Most of us look for our own glory, but God's ways are not our ways. While we are calculating, He is generous. As St. Paul says in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 9, we all are God's fellow workers. Being called to work in His vineyard is privilege for us. No matter what hour we come for work, we receive the reward from His love and generosity. He gives us more than we deserve. God is never unjust, for He will never give us what is less than our due. We clearly see in today's gospel God who gives equal wages to both first and latecomers. If the householder were to give a half or quarter of denaries to those who had come late for the work, that would not be enough for a day's food. Therefore, He gives from His generosity. God's ways are indeed strange, but remember that He sees the whole picture, where you and I see a very small portion of it. My dear friends, we need to ask ourselves today, am I generous in my little things like householder, or like the firstcomers who grumble on others' wealth and property? Let us do the little things with great love and be happy with what we receive.